Mike McCarthy is going to be the first NFL coach to get fired? Who, what, when, why, where, and how? Mike Fisher reporting from Frisco, home of the Dallas Cowboys. That's what one of the betting sites, sportsbetting.ag, has. That Mike McCarthy is going to be the first to get fired. Now, we can go way back to 2020, which seems like a long time ago, doesn't it? And McCarthy's Dallas Cowboys limped to a 6-10 record, and the blame went on who? The coach. It wasn't the quarterback this time. The coach and the owner. Wasn't the quarterback because he got hurt. We get to 2021, have success, and who will get the credit? The coach and probably not the owner. Probably not around here, probably not the owner. But there's the flip side of what if they have success in 2021. And so that's where sportsbetting.ag comes in. They've released odds on which head coach will be fired first during the 21 regular season. McCarthy has the odds at 7-1. Denver's Vic Fangio is 8-1. And in Chicago, the coach is 9-1. Now, how could this really unfold in real life? Cowboys are going to be healthy, it looks like, especially Dak. Expectations are high, especially in a division that seems winnable, even if you're a mediocre team. But what if things go south quickly? You could, of course, if you're the Cowboys, given their opening schedule, you could go 0-2 with 2 demanding road trips. A good team in Tampa, maybe a great team. A decent team in the Chargers, maybe better than that. But the travel, you could start 0-2. It's conceivable. But you're not firing anybody yet, right? So if things go wrong early on, who will Jerry and Steven blame? Well, they won't blame Jerry and Steven. There will be scrutiny on the coach. But this is where I think the website gets it wrong. Again, they know what they're doing. As I often say to you, try to bet against the bookie and you will end up living in a cardboard box underneath a bridge. You won't win. You win once. You won't beat him over the course of time. But mixed into this prediction and conversation, I've seen some media papers say, well, yeah, because you got to think about it. Look at Jerry's itchy trigger finger. What itchy trigger finger? Which one? The one that wanted to keep Jimmy, even though Jimmy wanted to leave? That itchy trigger finger? The one that wanted to keep Barry? And Barry told, I think it's run its course. The one that gave Chan probably a little too much chance, even though it wasn't very long. The one that gave Camps a little too much chance, even though some would argue he just probably shouldn't have had the chance in the first place. He didn't move on from Bill Parcells in the middle of a season, and he let Jason Garrett stay here for a decade. Jerry's done this once in 31 years of owning the Cowboys, firing a coach in a season. There is no itchy trigger finger. There is urgency. There is Jerry wants to win. But I'm going to tell you something about, now that Jerry's 78, he doesn't want to win more now that he's 78 that he wanted to win when he was 76. It's the same. Now, maybe just like a rookie player that goes to the Super Bowl and then thinks, God, this was easy. I'm probably going to go to the Super Bowl every year. Maybe in 1993, Jerry thought it could go on forever. But he understands surely after a quarter of a century now how fleeting this can be. How you better just get one when you can get one. Whether you're 76, 66, 56, or now 78. And yes, Jerry still wants to win desperately. As I often say, in both arenas, sports and business. He wants to win in both. I've told you this quote before when I asked Jerry for a newspaper story, big, gigantic feature on Jerry. Are you a businessman or a sportsman? And he leaned across his desk and he said, Mr. Mike, I couldn't look at myself in the mirror as a sportsman if I wasn't being successful as a businessman. And I'm writing this down. And he goes, but I couldn't look at myself in the mirror as a businessman if I wasn't successful as He did both. The sportsman needs to be a businessman. The businessman needs to be a sportsman. And he needs to be successful at both. And it eats at him that he's only been relatively successful at one. None of that points to an early firing for Mike McCarthy, who one way or the other got the Jones family's faith on that fateful night in Highland Park, surely drinking Johnny Walker Blues and telling Stephen and Jerry everything they needed to hear and wanted to hear, whether it was true or not. And now here we are with Cowboys Nation, certainly hoping that you don't start 0-2. But still, I believe, comforted, if that's the right word, by knowing that Jerry's track record says that even if you do get off a bad start, you will not be the first coach fired. The oddsmakers have it different. But if they have it different because of Jerry's supposedly itchy trigger finger, then they got Jerry wrong. In Frisco with the Cowboys. Fish, out.